Hello, everyone, and welcome to this in-depth exploration of one of the most gripping and heart-wrenching storylines currently unfolding on the beloved soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Today, we have dated the Beta Page's questions after Holly suffered a devastating death fantasy the medicine that her supposed friend Sophia maliciously swapped. This tale of betrayal, jealousy, and potential tragedy is a classic example that has kept viewers hooked on Days of Our Lives for decades. As we dissect this plot thread, we'll examine the characters' motivations, the intricate web of deceit, and the possible catastrophic outcomes, all while painting a vivid picture of the emotional turmoil and suspense that defines this narrative. Let's embark on this journey together, unraveling the layers of this story step by step, and ponder whether this could truly mark the end for the innocent and vibrant Holly.
To fully appreciate the gravity of this situation, we must first step back and revisit the rich tapestry of relationships that form the backbone of Salem's ever-evolving drama. Days of Our Lives, set in the fictional town of Salem, has always been a masterclass in portraying the complexities of human emotions: love, hate, envy, and redemption. At the center of this particular arc are two young women whose paths have crossed in ways both fortuitous and fateful: Holly Jonas and Sophia Choi. Holly, the daughter of Nicole Walker and the late Daniel Jonas, has grown up amidst the chaos of Salem's elite families. She's portrayed as a resilient yet vulnerable young woman, often caught in the crossfire of her mother's tumultuous life. With her striking beauty, sharp wit, and a heart full of hope, Holly has recently found a glimmer of happiness in her budding romance with Tate Black, the son of Brady Black and Teresa Donovan. Their relationship is one of those rare, pure connections in the soap world, filled with stolen glances, tender moments, and the promise of young love blooming against all odds. Enter Sophia Choi, a character who embodies the darker side of friendship turned sour. Sophia, with her cunning demeanor and a backstory laced with personal insecurities, has long harbored feelings for Tate herself. Introduced as a seemingly supportive friend to Holly, Sophia's true colors have gradually emerged, revealing a woman driven by an all-consuming jealousy. This isn't just petty rivalry, it's a deep-seated resentment that stems from Sophia's own unfulfilled desires and a history of feeling overshadowed. Viewers will recall earlier episodes where Sophia's subtle manipulations began to surface: whispers of doubt planted in Tate's ear, calculated interruptions during Holly and Tate's dates, and a general aura of passive aggressiveness that hinted at something more sinister brewing beneath the surface. But nothing could prepare us for the explosive confrontation that transpired just yesterday, an event that has escalated this feud into potentially life-threatening territory. The scene of their meeting was charged with an undercurrent of tension from the very start. It unfolded in the dimly lit confines of Holly's bedroom at the DeMera mansion, a place that should have been a sanctuary but instead became the stage for betrayal. Holly, oblivious to the storm approaching, was preparing for another day filled with the joys of her newfound romance. She had just finished applying a touch of makeup, her reflection in the mirror showing a girl on the cusp of happiness, when Sophia knocked on the door. "Holly, it's me, Sophia. Can we talk?" The words were innocent enough, but the tone carried a sharpness that longtime fans might have recognized as a red flag. Holly, ever the trusting soul, welcomed her in, perhaps hoping to mend whatever rift had formed between them. Little did she know that this encounter was entirely orchestrated by Sophia, a calculated move born out of pure envy. As the two sat on the edge of Holly's bed, the conversation quickly veered into dangerous waters. Sophia's eyes, usually bright with feigned friendliness, now burned with unspoken rage as she glanced at a photo of Holly and Tate on the nightstand, a candid shot of them laughing together at the Salem Inn's rooftop party just weeks prior. That image, symbolizing everything Sophia coveted, fueled her resentment to a boiling point. "You and Tate look so perfect," Sophia said, her voice dripping with sarcasm that Holly, in her naivety, mistook for genuine admiration. But it was all a facade, a meticulously crafted lie designed to lower Holly's defenses. Sophia had come prepared, her mind racing with a plan that had been festering for days. She knew about Holly's daily routine, including her reliance on a special tonic, a vitamin supplement prescribed to help manage the stress from her family's endless dramas. This tonic, innocuous in appearance, was kept in a small bottle inside Holly's purse, which she often tucked under her bed for safekeeping. Seizing the moment when Holly stepped out briefly to fetch some water, perhaps sensing the awkwardness but attributing it to typical teenage angst, Sophia sprang into action. Her heart pounded with a mix of adrenaline and vindictive glee as she reached under the bed, her fingers closing around the strap of the purse. The room seemed to hold its breath, The only sounds were the distant hum of traffic outside and the soft rustle of fabric as she unzipped the bag. There it was, the bottle of vitamins, gleaming innocently under the bedside lamp. Sophia's lips curled into a sneer as she unscrewed the cap, her mind flooding with insults for her old friend. "Stupid Holly, always getting what she wants," she muttered under her breath, her voice a venomous whisper. "You think you're so special, with your perfect life and perfect boyfriend. Well, not anymore." With deliberate slowness, as if savoring the act, she poured the tonic down the drain in the adjoining bathroom, watching the liquid swirl away like Holly's happiness slipping through her fingers. Each drop represented a piece of her recent memories of Tate's smiles directed at Holly instead of her, the laughter they shared that excluded her, the future she imagined for herself now shattered. But Sophia wasn't done. Oh no, this was no mere act of sabotage, it was a calculated replacement designed to inflict maximum harm. From her own pocket, she produced a small tin, its surface etched with innocuous designs that belied the danger within. This was her own medicine, a concoction whose exact contents remain a mystery to viewers but are hinted to be far more potent and potentially lethal than any vitamin supplement. Perhaps it's a sedative, or something more sinister like a hallucinogen or even a poison disguised as a harmless pill. The show has teased us with flashbacks of Sophia acquiring this tin from a shady contact in Salem's underbelly, her face illuminated by the neon lights of a back alley deal. As she transferred the contents into Holly's bottle, she couldn't resist a final, twisted promise to herself. "Soon, Holly, you'll have no worries in the world." These words, uttered with a chilling calm, echo the dramatic irony that soap operas thrive on. Holly, thinking she's fortifying her health, might instead be courting disaster. Now, the burning question looms large. Will Holly indeed suffer a terrible accident after taking this swap medicine? The suspense is palpable, as Days of Our Lives has a storied history of turning everyday objects into instruments of fate. Imagine the scene unfolding in upcoming episodes. Holly, feeling a bit run down after a long day, reaches for her purse. The camera lingers on her hand as she pops open the bottle, the pills rattling like omens of doom. She swallows one with a glass of water, her mind drifting to thoughts of Tate and their next date. At first, nothing seems amiss. She might even feel a surge of energy, lulling her into a false sense of security. But as the day progresses, the effects begin to creep in, subtle at first, like a dizziness mistaken for fatigue, then escalating into something far more alarming. Picture this in vivid detail. Holly decides to take a drive to meet Tate at the Horton Town Square, the sun setting in a blaze of orange hues over Salem's picturesque skyline. The swap medicine starts to take hold as she grips the steering wheel, her vision blurring at the edges. "What's happening?" she whispers to herself, her voice trembling with confusion. The world outside the car window warps like a funhouse mirror, trees bending unnaturally, streetlights pulsing with an otherworldly glow. Her heart races, not from excitement, but from a growing panic as her limbs grow heavy, unresponsive. The car swerves slightly, honks blaring from oncoming traffic, but Holly fights to maintain control, her mind flashing back to happier times, picnics with Tate, laughter with her mother Nicole, the warmth of family gatherings. Yet, these memories are interrupted by hallucinations, first visions of Sophia's smirking face, taunting her from the rearview mirror. No worries in the world, the apparition mocks, amplifying the horror. The accident, if it comes, and oh, how the show loves to build to these climactic moments, could be catastrophic. We envision the car veering off the road, crashing into a guardrail with a deafening screech of metal against metal. Sparks fly, glass shatters like fragile dreams, and Holly's world fades to black amid the chaos. Sirens wail in the distance, drawing Salem's residents to the scene, Tate arriving first, his face etched with terror as he calls out her name, Nicole, rushing from the hospital where she works, her maternal instincts kicking into overdrive. Even Sophia, lurking in the shadows, her expression a mix of guilt and satisfaction. Is this the end for Holly? The question hangs heavy, as soap operas are notorious for their cliffhangers and miraculous recoveries, but this plot feels particularly dire. Holly's youth and innocence make her potential demise all the more tragic, a stark reminder of how jealousy can destroy lives. Delving deeper into Sophia's psyche adds another layer of drama to this unfolding saga. What drives a person to such extremes? Sophia's jealousy isn't born in a vacuum. It's the culmination of years of feeling like an outsider in Salem's social circles. Flashbacks have shown us glimpses of her troubled past, perhaps a broken home, unrequited crushes, or betrayals by those she trusted. Seeing Holly and Tate together was the final straw, a mirror reflecting her own loneliness. In her twisted logic, swapping the medicine wasn't just about removing a rival. It was about reclaiming control. About making Holly pay for the happiness she stole, the insults she hurled while pouring out the tonic. Pathetic, spoiled, undeserving were as much self-projections as they were attacks on Holly. This psychological depth elevates the storyline from mere melodrama to a profound exploration of human frailty. Meanwhile, Tate's role in this cannot be understated. As the object of both women's affections, he's unwittingly the catalyst for this conflict. Tate, with his boyish charm and genuine kindness, has been portrayed as torn between loyalty to his friends and his growing love for Holly. If an accident befalls her, the guilt could consume him. Did he miss the signs of Sophia's obsession? Could he have intervened? This could lead to explosive confrontations, perhaps a heated argument where Tate accuses Sophia of foul play, her denials crumbling under the weight of evidence. The show's writers excel at these interpersonal fireworks, turning personal vendettas into community-wide scandals that ripple through Salem's families. As we speculate on the broader implications, consider how this event ties into the larger narrative of Days of Our Lives. Salem is no stranger to medical mysteries, and swapped substance. Remember the infamous baby switch scandals or the poisonings that plagued the Brady pub. This plot echoes those classics, but with a modern twist focused on youth and mental health. If Holly survives the accident, and let's hope she does, for the sake of her character's arc, it could spark a storyline about recovery, forgiveness, and the dangers of unchecked envy. Perhaps she'll awaken in the hospital, her body battered but her spirit unbroken, vowing to expose Sophia's treachery. Nicole, ever the fierce protector, might launch her own investigation, enlisting the help of allies like Eric Brady or even the DeMera family's resources. The drama could escalate with court scenes, where Sophia's lies unravel under cross-examination, her tearful confession revealing the depths of her desperation. But what if the outcome is darker? Soap operas aren't afraid to kill off beloved characters for shock value, and Holly's death would send shockwaves through Salem. Funerals in Days of Our Lives are epic affairs, star-streaked faces, eulogies laced with regret, and vows of vengeance that set up new vendettas. Tate might spiral into grief, turning to destructive behaviors, while Sophia faces the consequences of her actions: arrest, isolation, or even a descent into madness. The show could use this to explore themes of accountability and redemption, perhaps allowing Sophia a path to atonement if she shows genuine remorse. Expanding further on the setting, Salem itself plays a character in this drama. The town's quaint charm, cobblestone streets, historic homes, and the iconic pier belies the undercurrents of intrigue. Holly's drive to the square, if it leads to disaster, might occur near the infamous Salem River, where so many pivotal moments have transpired. The accident site could become a memorial, flowers piling up as fans mourn, mirroring real-life viewer reactions on social media. Indeed, Days of Our Lives has always blurred the lines between fiction and audience engagement, with plot twists often influenced by fan feedback. In terms of dramatic flair, the show's cinematography enhances the tension. Close-ups on Sophia's hands during the swap, the subtle music cues building suspense, and the slow-motion crash sequence. These elements make the story unforgettable. The dialogue, too, is ripe for expansion. Imagine Holly's last coherent thought before impact, a whispered Tate, that tugs at heartstrings. Or Sophia's internal monologue, justifying her actions as necessary while doubt creeps in.
To wrap up this extensive discussion, although it is clear that this subplot or testament is a base of our lives' enduring appeal. It combines raw emotion, moral ambiguity, and nail-biting suspense in a way that's king of her chapter. Anytime you'll tell, one thing is stays certain. Salem knows truly sad 7 tales unfold. Hearts racing with anticipation and dread. Thank you for joining me in this deep dive. Let's continue the conversation in the comments below.